The next video is on inflation. So here's a little summary of what inflation means. It's the steady increase in the prices of goods and services over time throughout the economy. It is measured by defining a shopping basket of goods. You don't have to think about it like that. But basically, in short, for you to understand, think about going to the Snoopy and buying a bar of chocolate. Last year compared to this year, the price would have increased, and that is due to inflation. And inflation is always calculated using compound interest. So the main thing that you need to remember is that inflation is calculated using compound interest. And then also that the value of money decreases over time. If you've got a 100 Rand note now, in 20 years time, that 100 Rand note is going to be worth way less than it is today. That's why you hear your parents saying that, like, when they were young, they could buy so many things for 20 cents, where now 20 cents can't get you anything because the value decreased due to inflation. Okay, so the price of goods go up, value of money. Here's the first example that we'll be doing regarding inflation. It says in January 1985, the average home cost about 72,000 Rand. Assuming an average inflation rate of 8.6% from 1985 up to 2015, which is a period of 30 years, what did the same house cost in January 2015? So they tell you that it's 30 years that elapsed. They give you the original value P, and they give you the interest, or they give you the rate of 8.6%. And they're asking you what would the same house cost in 2015, which is your A value that they want. Okay, so it's going to be A is equal to P times 1 plus I to the power of N. The original value is 72,000 Rand. 1 plus the interest is 0.086 to the power of 30, because it's 30 years that elapsed between 1985 and 2015. So you put that into your calculator, and then you get your final value that house would now cost 855,514.26 Rand. Okay, so as you can see, a massive increase in the housing cost. You could buy a house for 72,000 Rand. Now you can't buy a house at all for 72,000 Rand. Now you need at least 855,000 Rand. This is also a very nice question of how they can ask inflation. So they say the average salary of a computer programmer in South Africa in 1995 was 4,500 Rand. Assuming that an annual average rate of inflation is 6.1%, would a salary of 9,000 Rand have the same buying power in 2015? So they're asking you, would it be fair to pay a computer programmer 9,000 Rand instead of 4,500 Rand because of inflation? Would it be fair? So now you have to work out what, due to inflation, what would the same buying power be in 2015 as 4,500 Rand? So once again, you start with your compound interest. And now you say, okay, if my original value was 4,500 Rand for my salary, my inflation was 0.061, and how many years elapsed between 1995 and 2015? That is 20 years. So after 20 years, what would I expect my salary to be? Or a starting salary. Let's not think about all the other factors of experience and things like that. Then you would expect 14,706 Rand,87, not 9,000. So as you can see, therefore, no, 9,000 Rand would not have the same buying power. It will have less. Okay, so obviously 9,000, well, except if they gave you this perfect value, any value that they would have suggested might have been a bit off. But you need to at least do the calculation so we can see, oh, you can definitely see that 9,000 rand's not going to be enough. He's not going to make it with the same amount of groceries, same amount of petrol, and all those things. It's not going to have the same buying power. So they really like asking questions like this as well, because it's more interpretive. You need to know, what does it mean? Like it's more of a real life application of just doing calculations.